Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing great, whether it be night or day, wherever you are. If you're new, hi, welcome to the channel, and realms am I glad that you can join us today for another story that I wrote, which is actually a fixed audio of a video that I have posted a while back, but due to the audio quality, I had to fix it, and I finally got one of my friends to voice it, so I'm very happy for this one, and hopefully you guys will too. And as always, links for the music used in this video will be down below, and further announcements will be said after the video. I hope you guys enjoy.
Keep your eyes on me. And stop getting distracted.
You screamed for the nth time now. Grunts resonating along with the clash of metal coming from the weapons.
Keep your feet steady and...
Diluc stated, taking another swing at you, about to comment on how loud you were. You stumble backwards, trying to avoid the hit, and even ended up using a little bit of your animo to steady yourself from behind. With all the frantic mess that you were back then, you ended up using a bit too much, and nearly ended projectile launching yourself right back at the red-haired male. It would be easy to suppose that you would be caught in his arms, as he would try to intervene with the oncoming bumbling and screaming bundle of awkward footing that you were. But instead, he stepped aside and let you fall face first onto the ever-loving Geo underneath you. As you curse under your breath, Diluc shot you a wary glance.
Oh, for the love of Morax. Ugh.
You whispered under your breath. The quip, which was heard by the Dark Knight hero himself. He found a small smile painted over his lips. You simply resorted to cursing out your frustration.
I'm pretty sure Morax would love to hear your sentiments indeed.
He was about to come closer, but stood back quicker than, you could say, Kaeya is behind you. You took another swing with your sword, countered with his immaculate reflexes, just as you had expected. Well, guess that was it for the training of the day. See, here's the thing. You had never really expected Diluc, out of all the people, to have offered you any lessons. After all, he did see you as, capable of wielding your own weapon. It all started about a day after Kaeya's little quest for that so-called amazing and majestic sword, which in the end was a wild goose chase. That sneaky little... I mean, you were fine with the outcome, as it did still bear great results. Well, at least in Kaeya's end. But Paimon was the most disappointed, coming out empty-handed.
Although it would have served little to no purpose to Paimon, Paimon was still ever so disappointed to not have even seen such a sword.
Of course. You kind of expected such. A god-tiered weapon like that, given to you, who was, well, yet to be known in Mondstadt. Of course it was all a ruse. To cheer up Paimon even just a little bit, and maybe unwind yourself as well. You two headed over to Angel Share, and just your luck, Diluc was tending to you that night.
Oh, hi, Diluc.
You greeted, remembering to drop the formalities this time as requested, although Paimon still didn't quite get the hold of that part.
Hello, Master Diluc.
Hello, traveler. What may I serve you today? And no, you still aren't allowed any alcoholic beverages.
Diluc greets you back. It was obvious by the sullen look in both of your faces that you two had quite a day. Paimon's eyes beamed as curiosity bubbled up, trying to shift her attention to something else. What exactly did the dandelion wine taste like? It is the best of Dawn Winery after all, and yet you still haven't ordered it. Well, Diluc's only response to that was a small chuckle.
Are you even sure you want to order such?
Well, you had a long day after all. Paimon had second thoughts and would rather get a few more Mora after this, and thus changed her order to simply apple juice. Upon complying with the order, Diluc couldn't help but quip as to what exactly transpired.
Is there something wrong, traveler?
Well, Paimon's still a bit upset about not getting any treasure like that flirty eye patch said.
She means Kaeya.
Diluc's ears twitched at the sound of that name. Huh.
It was a long mission and all, for a sword that didn't really exist, and in the end, I guess it was rather anticlimactic, was all it was.
You said. Diluc placed a hand on his chin, as if deep in thought. You then spoke once more, as Paimon drank the last bit of her beverage, and placed the cup back down.
Well, I guess that's it by now. We'll head out again, and
I'll teach you.
Diluc cut you off. You were confused as to what he was on about, but he soon explained that
Although you may not have attained any magical Archon-tiered weapon, it was best to understand that most of the greatness a weapon holds is upon a user. What good is an Archon-tiered weapon at the hands of a novice versus a simple stick at someone who can wield it properly?
Paimon pointed out that it was the best, since he was in fact a former capable, as he was indeed the Dark Knight hero of Mondstadt. So, Paimon accepted for you, before you could even complain or have a second thought. So, here you were, barely managing to get up and even hold your weapon shakily from the strain that your shoulders were already experiencing. Diluc finally offered a hand as you sheathed the weapon back. Your eyes darted to a few centimeters from his ear, which might have just been due to the fight, or maybe a reflection of the color of his hair. But you could have sworn that you saw it match a little flush?
oh, Kaeya's behind you.
You casually say in a slight pant, as you swiped at yourself for any remaining dirt, and maybe a few leaves of grass. Diluc raised a brow.
Why would you need to do such tactic when the training is already over?
It wasn't until he heard the ever so familiar voice speak behind him that he realized you were actually meaning it.
I see you're still not that much of a gentleman there, Diluc.
Kaeya quipped. He grinned to himself as he had been enjoying quite the sight of both of you for quite a while now, even during training. Just somewhere near the massive oak tree at Windrise, leaning on one of the statue of the Seven. He nearly face-palmed, scoffing, when...
He really had missed the perfect chance to have a little hug when he could have broke your fall earlier.
I'm merely teaching them. Unlike you, I don't flirt with everything I pass by.
Diluc retorted. Kaeya merely rolled his eyes at this, and then turned to you when you finally caught your breath.
Oh, hello, traveler. You're looking hot.
He teased, more so referring to your actual body temperature and sweaty form.
Paimon is kind of scared right now.
Paimon sensed the tension between the two males and clung onto you. This was always the case between the two, but you would be lying if you said that this was not a great scene to partake in. It always ends up interesting, to say the least. But then again...
Alright, we can all, breathe a bit?
You quipped, and Kaeya smirked.
But traveler, how could I when you took my breath away?
He placed a hand over your head and ruffled your hair, glancing his eye slightly at Diluc. It might have not been oh so obvious. Well, there was a change in expression, all right. Kaeya refused the urge to tease. After all, he was curious as to where this would even lead to. See, the day that you and Paimon were at Angel Share, Kaeya was too. For a slightly different reason. Thus bearing witness to Diluc suddenly offering training out of nowhere. You probably wouldn't have seen the red-haired male's changes. And if he wasn't used to them, per se, he would have been as clueless as you were. The way he smiles when you're around, the way he's less stiff, how he seemed brighter, no matter what was on his mind. He couldn't blame him. Your glee was infectious after all.
Diluc! Morning, Diluc. Oh, hi, Diluc. Diluc. Hey there. Hi, Diluc. Hi, Diluc. Diluc.
He could already picture your voice swimming in Diluc's mind, albeit him not admitting to such. If there was anything that Diluc wanted to hide, Kaeya was not the type to miss it. The two were practically twins after all. Kaeya then placed both of his hands on your shoulder and urged you away from the redhead as he suggested,
Hey traveler, you can clean up for now and meet us at the Dawn Winery. It would be great to have a little more private get-together than the tavern, you know?
Private? Why would we need...
You started, but Kaeya simply told you to wait and see, while ushering Paimon with him instead. Well, you had never gone anywhere much without Paimon, but it wasn't unheard of. Diluc, on the other hand, had enough as he went over, just as you were about to go. He placed a hand on Kaeya's shoulder, muttering something about making you uncomfortable. Kaeya threw his hands up in surrender, before ushering Diluc to go to the winery with him instead. A quick clean, and a few moments later, you headed to the winery yourself, but was kind of confused with the gathering.
Hey, Paimon, is there any Tevat holiday that I don't know of? What's with the celebration? Oh, right, Paimon's not.
You asked, and suddenly remembered that Paimon was not with you. You sighed and simply opened the door, readying yourself for whatever was to come. There a few people gathered. Even Jean, Amber, Lisa, Venti, and a few more of the people that you first got acquainted with in Mondstadt. Lisa was holding a cake as she went over, stating that they technically did not know your birthday, so they just wanted to celebrate, as they then used that as an excuse to ask you when it actually was.
Oh, I didn't think that. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for everything.
Diluc then smiled as Paimon went closer, complaining how hard it was to keep Master Diluc's plan a secret.
Diluc planned this?
You asked, to no one in particular, as you held the cake. You looked up to see a more visible blush, now growing on Diluc's cheeks. Well, that's something you don't see every day. The celebration went on, and everyone was having a blast, talking here and there, enjoying the company and all. You would occasionally glance over at Diluc, who then averted his eyes and grew redder. Halfway through the party, you realized you had never even properly thanked him. But now, he was nowhere to be seen. You looked to a nearby chair and saw him with Kaeya, but was mortified when you drew near.
My, and who is this pretty person?
He said, fiddling his hair, eyes barely open and his lips on one hand.
Traveler. Come, sit. It feels pretty comfortable, I assure you.
He offered, although there were no chairs around, and the place that he was patting was his lap for Arkan's sake. Traveler, remember to breathe.
What am I seeing? Kaeya?
Just who in realms is this man? And what did he do with Diluc? He was nearly as red as his hair for Arkan's sake.
Don't look at him. Why are you looking at him? Look at me, traveler.
Oh, is Diluc finally making a move?
Kaeya said, seemingly amused, as Diluc pulled you down to sit anyways. Paimon yelled, staring at him, stating,
What do you mean, You're the one who mixed that wine in his juice!
You tried your best not to lash out at the cryo user, as Diluc's breath grazed your skin, making your breath hitch. It wasn't hard to tell that this man was near passing out.
Okay, that's enough. You've had enough. Kaeya's taking you home.
Kaeya faked being drunk and dramatically passed out to avoid such. And it's not like you could really ask anyone else to do it. You could at least thank him by not letting him pass out in the winery. With all the energy that you could muster and a little bit of animo to eat him, you finally managed to get Diluc on your shoulders, helping him walk. Paimon insisted on staying and helping to clean, as Kaeya then graciously closed the door, miraculously managing to not be passed out.
Why that little?
You couldn't even manage to finish your curse as Diluc wobbled. You simply needed to focus on trying to get him home first. And, well, at least give him some rest. You were now walking when Diluc suddenly stood straighter than ever before you and fully hugged you.
Diluc?
Traveler, do you like Kaeya?
What? Oh. Wait, what?
He wasn't letting go for sure, as he complained that he didn't like it if he saw you with Kaeya. Or rather, if you answered yes to that question. Traveler, remember, he's drunk. Deal with it. But that didn't mean you couldn't chuckle jokingly.
Why? Is it 'cause you like me?
You froze the moment he nodded. It was adorable, but yet again.
Yup. Drunk. Definitely drunk.
He then looked at you and asked,
Is that even vital information?
Of course it is. You were the one who even said back then, often the inner workings of a person's mind and emotions come undone upon a wrong state of mind. So as a drunk, which is why the tavern is a perfect place to collect vital information.
Then listen carefully, traveler. For this too is much vital information.
he said, trying to lean in as if asking you for a kiss. It was adorable, but...
Nope, no. Diluc, I am not dealing when you're drunk. I don't believe that the Dark Knight hero of Mondstadt doesn't have the confidence to confess in sobriety.
Diluc's arms shifted to your face and gave it a small squeeze.
Traveler, you feel soft.
Realms, did he feel the warmth from your eyes? He smiled, fluffing up your cheeks, and nodded, before stating,
Fine. I'll simply do it tomorrow.
just as he did. He gave you a final hug before you finally felt his weight fully drop onto you. With a yelp, you fell down on the grass back at Windrise. Luckily, you were back near the oak tree. With a final grunt, you carried him to the base of it as you were sure that you couldn't lift him up anymore. Your legs were shaking, and you doubted you had the mental capacity to do so after what he had just said. You two were tired. You leaned back and placed him on your lap, as he then nuzzled sleepily. You smiled, unwinding his ponytail and massaging his scalp.
Tomorrow it is, then. Good night, Diluc.
Oh, my phone took a dive. Yes. Nothing like Truck Coon paying a visit.
Traveler, you see...
Let's get isekai'd.
Shush.
Let me record, please. Let me record. Oh, I actually read that as Ragnvindr the first time I encountered that. Well, that was a few months ago. Some great character development right there. I learned how to read. Skill acquired.
I proceed to turn into a gremlin. Kaeya gremlin.
Why is my voice a tad bit too deep in some of these parts? Alright, let's finish this.
Now, like, what if Shao, like, comes in, like, he's like, "Are you stealing my girl, mortal?" Or something like that. It's like, "I'm from the last video." Well, not the last video, but anyway.
He stepped aside and let you face fall. Face fall? What? It was obvious by the sullen look in you both there. What? Oh, okay, I'm there. Imagine losing yourself and where you're reading in like 5 seconds. You then spoke once more, as Paimon's Kaeya and Paimon sensed the tension between the two. The traveler, how could I when you take my breath away? Oh. I love reading fics that I am just left in my computer for like quite some time. I don't remember the story. But always interesting. He placed a hand over your head and ruffled your Kaeya refused every... What? Hold on. Where was I going with that? You probably wouldn't have seen the red-haired... You would occasionally... I need oxygen. After all, you couldn't even manage to finish your... CEO entrepreneur, nobleman, find the core, Diluc, Ragnvindr. Fluffing.
Paimon, is there a Tevat holiday going on that I don't know of? Paimon, is there a Tevat holiday today going on that I don't know of? Hey, Paimon, is there a Tevat holiday today going on that I don't know of? Right.
Morning, comrade. Imagine Lamine just has child's lines.
Morning, comrade! Morning, comrade! You're raring to go, I see. Morning, comrade! You're raring to go, I see.
Wait, where are the serious lines? Oh wait, no. Future me, I'm sorry, but deal with it.
Why? I don't believe that the Dark Knight hero of Mondstadt doesn't have the confidence to I don't believe that the Dark Knight... I don't believe that the Dark Knight hero of Mondstadt...
Okay, never mind, I'm just gonna redo everything.
Mancha's Kaeya simp, I swear. She's like listening to me right now. She's telling me to shut up. You better put this in the bloopers.
Okay, so that was it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and giving a like down below, as I do post 2 to 3 times a week on regular posting schedules, and again, links will be in the description down below, and my Discord tag is in the about page of my YT if you want to interact, because I'm mostly on there. If you have any original stories that you would like me to read, or anything you would like to submit, as long as I also have the permissions, or maybe you have requests for scenarios or certain characters, I would definitely love to read them and make stories out of them, and hopefully do them justice by then. And, yeah, that is basically it. And I hope to see you guys again soon in the next video. The next video to be posted is a new story that I wrote, and, well, see you there. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated, stay safe. Bye.